The medical bay of Station 9 smelled wrong to Dr. Minjun Park. 3 years serving on the Galactic Hub Station, and he still could not get used to the sterile scent that the Vex cleaning systems produced. It reminded him of burnt plastic mixed with something sweet. The human doctor stood at his workstation, reviewing patient files on a display that floated in the air before him. The door opened with a soft hiss. A nurse named Four entered, her 4 arms carrying supply containers. Her pale blue skin looked almost white under the medical bay lights. "Dr. Park, the council medical director wants to see you," Four said. Her translator device turned her clicking sounds into standard galactic speech. Minjun looked up from his work. Did she say why? No, but she seemed concerned. Minjun saved his files and headed toward the director's office. He walked through corridors filled with beings from across the galaxy. A group of merchants passed him, their fur rippling in patterns that showed their mood. 2 security officers stood near a viewing window, their massive forms blocking most of the starlight. The medical director's office sat at the end of the main corridor. Minjun pressed the door chime and waited. "Enter," a voice called. Director sat behind her desk. The woman had skin that changed colors based on her emotions. Right now, it showed deep purple, which Minjun had learned meant worry. Her large eyes fixed on him as he entered. "Dr. Park, please sit." Minjun took a seat across from her. The chair adjusted to his human body shape, one of the few pieces of furniture on the station designed for his species. "I received a complaint about your treatment methods," said. She pulled up a file on her desk display. "A patient named Kextor, you treated him 2 days ago for radiation exposure." Minjun remembered the case. "Yes, he works in the reactor maintenance section, minor exposure from a shield malfunction." "The complaint is not about your medical skills," said. "Kextor states that you touched him, physically, without medical necessity." Minjun felt his jaw tighten. "I put my hand on his shoulder while explaining the treatment plan. It was meant to be reassuring." "The medical board considers unnecessary physical contact to be unprofessional," said. Her skin shifted to a lighter purple. "This is the 4th such complaint in the past month, Dr. Park. All different species, all claiming you touched them without medical need." "I was trying to comfort them," Minjun said. "I understand human medical practices include physical contact for emotional support," said. "But you must understand that most galactic species find this disturbing. We do not touch our patients unless required for treatment." Minjun leaned back in his chair. He had known this conversation would come eventually. Human doctors trained to use touch as part of patient care. A hand on the shoulder, a gentle touch on the arm, these things helped patients feel safe. But the galaxy did not work that way. "I will be more careful," Minjun said. "I hope so," said. "You are a skilled physician, Dr. Park. Your diagnostic abilities are excellent. Your surgical skills are among the best on this station. But you must adapt to galactic medical standards." Minjun stood to leave. "One more thing," said. "A transport ship will dock tomorrow. It carries refugees from the Outer Rim conflicts. I want you on the medical team that processes them." "How many refugees?" 300, maybe more. Many will need treatment." Skin flickered to orange, which meant determination. "The council wants them processed quickly and sent to settlement worlds." Minjun nodded and left the office. He walked back through the station, thinking about the complaints. He understood the logic. Different species had different social rules, but medicine was not just about fixing bodies. It was about caring for people, making them feel safe during frightening times. His communicator buzzed. A message from his assistant, a young named Wu. "Doctor, emergency in Bay 3, chemical burn patient." Minjun ran toward the medical bay. When he arrived, Wu stood next to a treatment bed where a worker lay writhing in pain. The screen scales showed burn damage across his left arm and chest. "What happened?" Minjun asked, pulling on gloves. "Coolant leak in the engineering section," Wu said. "He got sprayed directly." Minjun scanned the patient. The burns went deep, past the outer scales and into the muscle tissue. They made high-pitched sounds of pain that the translator could not process. "Start an IV line," Minjun ordered. "I need pain medication and burn treatment gel." Wu moved quickly, her fur showing patterns of focus and concern. Minjun worked on the patient, cleaning the burns and applying regenerative gel. They continued to make distressed sounds. Without thinking, Minjun placed his hand gently on the patient's unburned shoulder. "You are safe now," he said quietly. "The pain will stop soon." The eyes focused on Minjun, the distressed sounds decreased. Wu stared at Minjun's hand on the patient's shoulder. "Doctor, you are touching him." "I know," Minjun said. He did not move his hand. "Get me the deep tissue regenerator." Wu hesitated, then moved to get the equipment. Minjun continued working, his hand remaining on the patient's shoulder. The breathing slowed. The panic in his eyes faded. 2 hours later, the patient rested in a recovery bed. The burns would heal completely in a few days. Wu organized the medical supplies while Minjun wrote his report. "You will get another complaint," Wu said. Her fur showed worried patterns. "Probably," Minjun said. "Why do you do it? You know it causes problems." Minjun looked at his assistant. "Because it helps them. When someone is scared and in pain, knowing that another being cares about them makes a difference. My medical training included this understanding." "Galactic medical practice does not include emotional care," Wu said. "We fix the body. The mind takes care of itself." "That is where we differ," Minjun said. "Humans believe the mind and body heal together." Wu's fur rippled in a pattern Minjun had not seen before. "The other human doctors on this station do not touch patients like you do." "The other 3 human doctors work in research labs," Minjun said. "They do not treat patients directly." The medical bay door opened. 4 entered, moving quickly on her 4 legs. "Dr. Park, the refugee ship arrived early. They are docking now. Director wants the medical team at the docking bay immediately." Minjun grabbed his medical kit. "How many refugees?" "More than expected," 4 said. "Over 500, and doctor, they are saying many are children." Minjun felt his stomach tighten. Refugee children. That meant scared, traumatized young beings who had lost their homes and possibly their families. "Let us go," he said. As they headed toward the docking bay, Minjun knew that the next few days would test everything. The refugee ship looked like it had traveled through a war zone. Scorch marks covered the hull. Parts of the outer plating showed damage from weapons fire. As the airlock connected to the station, Minjun could hear crying from inside. Director stood at the front of the medical team. 5 doctors and 10 nurses waited behind her. She looked at her data pad, her skin shifting between purple and orange. "The ship's captain reports critical medical cases," she said. "Priority goes to life-threatening injuries. Process everyone else quickly and send them to temporary housing." The airlock opened. The smell hit Minjun first. Unwashed bodies, fear, and sickness mixed together in a wave that made him want to step back. But he held his ground. Refugees began to emerge. Most walked slowly, carrying whatever possessions they had managed to save. Minjun saw a few and species he did not recognize. Many had visible injuries. Burns, cuts, broken limbs wrapped in makeshift bandages. Then the children came. A small child, no more than 3 standard years old, walked alone. Her blue skin showed bruises and cuts. She carried a torn blanket and looked around with wide, terrified eyes. Behind her, more children emerged. Some held hands with older siblings. Others walked alone. Minjun moved forward. "I will handle the children," he said to. "Dr. Park, the critical cases take priority," said. "These are critical cases," Minjun said. He walked toward the small child. Wu followed him. "Doctor, what are you doing?" Minjun knelt down so his eyes were level with the child's. "Hello," he said softly. "My name is Minjun. I am a doctor. You are safe now." The child stared at him. Her 4 small arms clutched the blanket. "Are you hurt?" Minjun asked. The child did not answer. Minjun scanned her with his medical, multiple bruises, malnutrition, dehydration. Nothing immediately life-threatening, but she needed care. "Wu set up a triage area for children," Minjun said. "Separate from the adults. Get beds, blankets, water, and food suitable for young ones." "The director said to process them quickly," Wu said. "The director said to handle critical cases," Minjun replied. "Traumatized children are critical." He reached out his hand slowly toward the child. "Will you come with me? I have a safe place with food and water." The child looked at his hand, did not normally engage in physical contact with strangers. Minjun knew this, but he also knew that fear could override cultural norms. The child reached out one of her small arms and touched his hand. Minjun stood slowly, keeping the contact. "Come, let me help you." He led the child toward the medical bay, Wu following behind. More children emerged from the ship. Minjun counted 23 in total. All looked scared and hurt. "Set up beds in Medical Bay 4, Minjun said. "That is the quietest section. Keep the lights low." "Doctor, this is highly irregular," Wu said. But her fur showed patterns that Minjun had learned meant she was conflicted, not opposed. "I know," Minjun said. "Do it anyway." Over the next hour, Minjun and Wu moved all 23 children to Medical Bay 4. They set up small beds with soft blankets. They brought water and simple foods that most species could digest. The children sat on the beds, looking around with scared eyes. Minjun moved from bed to bed, scanning each child. Most had injuries similar to the first one: bruises, malnutrition, dehydration. A few had worse problems. One boy had a broken arm that had been set incorrectly. A girl had a deep cut on her leg that showed signs of infection. As he worked, Minjun spoke softly to each child. "You are safe now. I am going to help you feel better. This might hurt a little, but I will be as gentle as I can." The children did not respond much. They watched him with careful eyes, ready to run if he made any threatening moves. The girl with the infected cut started to cry when Minjun cleaned the wound. Without thinking, he placed his hand gently on her head between her ears. "I know it hurts," he said quietly, "but the infection needs to be cleaned out. You are being very brave." The girl's crying slowed. She looked up at Minjun with large eyes. Wu watched from across the room. Her fur showed patterns Minjun could not read. After treating the immediate medical needs, Minjun sat down on the floor in the middle of the room. The children watched him. "I know you are scared," he said. "You have been through terrible things, but you are on Station 9 now. This is a safe place. No one here will hurt you." A boy older than the others spoke for the first time. "They said that about the colony before the ships came." Minjun nodded. "You are right not to trust easily. Trust must be earned. I cannot promise that nothing bad will ever happen again. But I can promise that while you are here, I will do everything I can to keep you safe and help you heal." "Why?" the boy asked. "We are not your kind." Minjun thought about his answer. "Because you are children, because you are hurt, because that is what doctors do. We help those who need help." The boy stared at him for a long moment, then looked away. The door to Medical Bay 4 opened. Director entered, her skin showing deep purple. She looked at the children in their beds, at Minjun sitting on the floor, at the quiet, careful atmosphere he had created. "Dr. Park, I need to speak with you, outside." Minjun stood and followed her into the corridor, waited until the door closed before speaking. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Treating patients," Minjun said. "You have separated the children from their families. You have used an entire medical bay for non-critical cases. You have ignored priority protocols." Her skin shifted to angry red. "And witnesses report that you have been touching the children without medical necessity." "They needed a safe, quiet space," Minjun said. "They needed to be away from the chaos of the main triage area. As for touching them, it was medically necessary. Traumatized children need physical reassurance. It is part of their treatment." "That is not how galactic medicine works," said. "Then galactic medicine is missing something important," Minjun said. Skin flickered through several colors. "You are the most difficult doctor I have ever supervised." "I am doing my job," Minjun said. "Your job is to follow protocols," said. "Your job is to treat injuries and illnesses, not to provide emotional care that makes you feel better about yourself." Minjun felt anger rise in his chest. He took a breath and pushed it down. "With respect, Director, I disagree. My job is to help my patients heal, all of them, body and mind. If that means I get more complaints, so be it." "It will mean more than complaints," said. "The medical board is already reviewing your performance. Another incident like this could mean suspension or reassignment." "I understand," Minjun said. Stared at him. Do you really understand what you are risking?" "Yes," Minjun said, "and I am willing to accept those risks." Skin shifted to pale blue, which Minjun had never seen before. Why is this so important to you?" Minjun thought about his answer. "Because when I was young, my home city was hit by an earthquake. I was trapped in rubble for 8 hours. When the rescue workers found me, I was terrified. A doctor came down into the rubble. She held my hand while they worked to free me. She told me I was safe. She stayed with me the entire time. He paused. That is why I became a doctor, not just to fix bodies, but to be that person for someone else, to be the one who says you are safe and means it. Skin remained pale blue. That is a very human story. Yes, Minjun said, it is. The director looked at the closed door to Medical Bay 4. Those children will be sent to settlement worlds within the week. You know this. I know, Minjun said, but for this week they deserve to feel safe. Min-jun walked to her bed and knelt down beside it. How are you feeling? He asked. The little girl looked at him but did not speak. Are you hungry? Min-jun asked. We have food. The girl nodded slowly. Min-jun got her a meal pack designed for young. She ate slowly, her 4 small hands working carefully. When she finished, she looked at Min-jun again. Where is my mother? She asked in a tiny voice. Min-jun felt his heart break a little. I do not know, he said honestly, but I will try to find out. What is your name? Haewon, the girl said. That is a beautiful name, Min-jun said. Haewon, I promise you that we will do everything we can to find your family. Right now, you need to rest and get better. Can you do that? Haewon nodded and lay back down. Min-jun pulled her blanket up and, without thinking, gently touched her head. The girl did not pull away. Instead, she closed her eyes. Over the next 3 days, Min-jun spent most of his time in Medical Bay 4. The children's physical injuries healed quickly with proper medical care. But the emotional damage ran deeper. Most of them barely spoke. They ate when food was given to them. They slept when lights went out. But they showed no joy, no curiosity, none of the normal behaviors of healthy children. Wu helped Min-jun care for them. On the 3rd day, she asked him, why are they so quiet? Even injured children usually play when they feel better. They are still afraid, Min-jun said. They have learned that the world is not safe. That lesson is hard to unlearn. How do you help them unlearn it? Wu asked. Patience, Min-jun said. Consistency, showing them over and over that this place is different. That afternoon, Min-jun brought something new to Medical Bay 4. He had gone to the station's recreation sector and found a shop that sold toys and games. He bought a simple ball made of soft material that would not hurt anyone. The children watched as he entered with the ball. They looked suspicious, as they had learned to be when adults brought new things. Min-jun sat down on the floor and rolled the ball gently across the room. It bounced off the far wall and rolled back. None of the children moved. Min-jun rolled it again. This time it stopped near the boy who had spoken before. His name was Sung. The boy looked at the ball, then at Min-jun. It is just a ball, Min-jun said, for playing. Sung picked up the ball with one of his 4 arms. He examined it carefully, as if checking for hidden dangers. You can throw it, roll it, bounce it, Min-jun said. Whatever you want. Sung looked at the ball for a long moment. Then suddenly he threw it hard at the wall. It bounced back and Min-jun caught it. He rolled it back to Sung. The boy threw it again, harder. Min-jun caught it and rolled it back. They continued this pattern for several minutes. Other children began to watch. Then a young girl named got up from her bed and stood near Sung. When the ball came back next time, she grabbed it. She looked at Min-jun nervously. He smiled and nodded. She threw the ball at the wall. Within an hour, 7 children were playing with the ball. They were not laughing yet, but they were engaged. They were doing something other than sitting and waiting. Min-jun sat against the wall and watched. Wu stood next to him. This is good, she said. I see the benefit of this approach. It is a start, Min-jun said. That evening, as Min-jun was checking on the children before they slept, an alarm sounded. His communicator buzzed urgently. Medical emergency, docking bay 7, a voice said. Multiple casualties. Min-jun looked at the children. They were scared by the alarm sound. Several had started crying. I have to go, he told Wu. Stay with them. Of course, Wu said. Min-jun ran through the station corridors toward docking bay 7. When he arrived, he found chaos. A cargo ship had experienced an explosion during unloading. 3 workers lay on the deck, badly injured. The docking bay's emergency medical team was already working on them. Min-jun joined the team. The worst case was a woman with severe burns across her back and legs. Min-jun worked quickly, cleaning the burns and applying regenerative gel. The woman screamed in pain. Hold still, one of the other doctors, unnamed, said sharply. You are making this harder. The woman continued to scream and thrash. We need to sedate her, said. No, Minjun said. Sedation will slow her healing. Give me a moment. He moved closer to the woman's head. Look at me, he said firmly. The woman's eyes found his. You are hurt badly. We are helping you, but you need to stay still. Can you do that? The woman tried to nod. Good, Minjun said. He placed his hand on her shoulder above the burns. I am right here. Focus on my voice. The pain is bad, but it will pass. We are making it better. Breathe slowly, in and out. The woman's screaming decreased to whimpers. Her body stopped thrashing. Stared at Minjun. How did you do that? Focus and reassurance, Minjun said. Keep working. They finished treating the woman. When she was stable and resting, pulled Minjun aside. That touching thing you do, said. I have heard complaints about it, but I saw what happened. She was going to thrash so much we would have had to sedate her. That would have added a full day to her recovery time. Yes, Minjun said. Teach me how to do it, said. Minjun blinked in surprise. What? Teach me, said. If it helps patients, I want to learn. Minjun thought about this. It is not just a technique, he said. It requires you to connect with the patient, to make them feel that you care about them, not just about fixing their body. Then teach me that, said. I have been a doctor for 20 years. I thought I knew everything about medicine, but what you just did, I could not do that. Minjun felt something warm in his chest. I will teach you, he said, but it takes practice, and it might get you complaints from the medical board. I saw the results, said. That is what matters. They walked back to the medical bay together. When Minjun returned to medical bay 4, he found all the children asleep. Wu sat in a chair near the door. They were scared by the alarm, Wu said, but I told them you would come back. They believed me. Good, Minjun said. Dr. Park, Wu said, I want to learn your methods too, the touching, the emotional care. I see that it works. Minjun sat down in a chair next to her. Why the change? You were skeptical before. Wu's fur rippled in thoughtful patterns. I watched the children over these 3 days. When you enter the room, they relax. When you speak to them, they listen. When you touch them, they calm down. This is not just medical care. This is something deeper. It is called compassion, Minjun said. It is treating the whole being, not just the injury. Is this common among human doctors? Wu asked. It should be, Minjun said. But not all humans practice this way. Some focus only on the medical science. But I was taught that science without compassion is incomplete medicine. The next morning, Minjun received a message from Director. She wanted to see him immediately. He left Wu with the children and went to her office. Skin showed multiple colors swirling together. Minjun had never seen that before. Dr. Park, sit down, she said. Minjun sat. I received a report from Doctor about the emergency in Docking Bay 7, said. He praised your handling of the burned patient. He also said he wants you to train him in your methods. He asked me to teach him, Minjun said. I also received a request from Nurse Wu for the same training, said. Minjun waited. And this morning, continued, I received a formal request from the patient you treated, Kextor, the one who filed the original complaint about you touching him. What does he want? Minjun asked. He wants to withdraw his complaint, said. He spoke with the woman from the Docking Bay explosion. She told him that your touch helped her endure the pain. He said he now understands that he misinterpreted your actions. Minjun felt relief wash over him. Do not celebrate yet, said. The medical board is still reviewing your case. Other complaints remain active, but this is a positive development. Thank you for telling me, Minjun said. Dr. Park, said, her skin settling into a steady blue color. I am beginning to think that perhaps galactic medicine has been missing something. Perhaps we have focused so much on technological advancement that we forgot the beings we are treating. Over the next week, something unexpected happened on Station 9. Word spread among the medical staff about Dr. Park's methods. Nurses and doctors who had been skeptical began to observe his work. They watched him interact with the refugee children. They saw how the children responded to his gentle touch and calm voice. Doctor started his training. Minjun taught him how to make eye contact, how to use a calm voice, how to touch patients in ways that reassured rather than frightened. The doctor struggled at first. His species did not normally engage in physical contact, but he practiced. One afternoon, Min-jun watched as treated a patient with a broken arm. The patient was nervous. Setting the bone would cause pain. Placed his hand on the patient's shoulder just as Min-jun had taught him. "This will hurt," said, "but I will be as quick as possible. You are in good hands." The patient relaxed slightly. When set the bone, the patient cried out but did not thrash or panic. The procedure finished quickly and cleanly. After the patient left, found Min-jun, "It works," he said. His skin showed bright yellow, which meant joy. The patient stayed calm. "The procedure went smoothly. I have been setting bones for 15 years, and that was the easiest one I have ever done." "Because the patient trusted you," Min-jun said. "Trust makes everything easier." More doctors asked for training. Wu became skilled at the techniques and began teaching other nurses. Within 2 weeks, half the medical staff on Station 9 had learned basic compassionate care methods. Director watched these changes with mixed feelings. Her skin shifted between purple and blue constantly. On one hand, patient satisfaction scores were rising. Recovery times were decreasing. Complaints about medical care had dropped significantly. On the other hand, the medical board was still reviewing whether these human methods were proper galactic medical practice. In Medical Bay 4, the children continued to improve. They spoke more now. They played with the toys Min-jun brought them. They smiled sometimes, though not often. The deep trauma they had experienced would take much longer to heal than their physical injuries. Haewon, the small girl, had become particularly attached to Min-jun whenever he entered the bay. She would run to him and hug his legs with all 4 of her arms. Min-jun always knelt down to her level and spoke with her. "Did you have good dreams last night?" he would ask. "I dreamed about my mother," Haewon would say. "Tell me about her." And Haewon would talk about her mother, where she worked, what she looked like, the songs she sang. Min-jun listened to every word, knowing that talking about her mother helped Haewon process her loss and fear. The station's refugee coordinator, named, had been searching for the children's families. Most of the children had been separated from their parents during the evacuation of their colony. The coordinator had some success. 3 children were reunited with parents who had been on different ships. The joy of those reunions helped the other children believe that maybe their families were still alive. But for many children, including Haewon, no family could be found. The colony had been destroyed. Records were incomplete. Some families had been killed in the attack. Others were missing. On the 10th day of caring for the children, Min-jun received difficult news. The council had decided that all remaining refugee children without families would be sent to group homes on settlement worlds. They would leave in 3 days. Min-jun knew this was coming. The station was not designed for long-term care of children. The settlement worlds had facilities and staff trained for this purpose. It was the logical decision. But logic did not make it easier. He told the children that evening. They sat in their beds, looking at him with wide eyes. "You are all much healthier now," Min-jun said. "Your injuries have healed, you are eating well, you are getting stronger. The council has found good places for you to live, safe places with people who will take care of you." "Will you come with us?" Haewon asked. Min-jun's chest tightened. "No, I work here on the station, but the people at the settlement worlds are good people. They will help you." "I want to stay with you," Haewon said. Tears ran down her blue face. Other children started crying too. Min-jun felt helpless. He wanted to promise them everything would be fine. He wanted to tell them he would keep them safe forever, but he could not make those promises. Instead, he did what he could. He went to each child and held them while they cried. He let them express their fear and sadness. He did not try to make them stop crying or tell them everything was fine. He just held them and let them feel what they needed to feel. Wu watched from the doorway. Her fur showed patterns of deep sadness. After the children finally fell asleep, exhausted from crying, Min-jun sat alone in the medical bay. Wu came and sat next to him. "This is the hard part of your methods," she said. "You connect with patients, you care about them, and then when they leave, it hurts." "Yes," Min-jun said, "it hurts very much." "Is it worth it?" Wu asked. Min-jun thought about that question. Those children were dying inside when they arrived. They had stopped trusting anyone. They had stopped hopping. Now they cry because they have to leave. That means they learn to trust again. They learn to hope. That is worth the pain. "Very human," Wu said. "Yes," Min-jun agreed. The next 2 days passed quickly. Minjun spent as much time as he could with the children. He played games with them. He told them stories. He taught them things about the galaxy they would live in. He helped them pack their few possessions. On the last evening, he sat with Haewon. The little girl held her torn blanket and looked at him with sad eyes. "I do not want to go," she said. "I know," Minjun said, "but you must. The settlement world has other children there. You will make friends, you will go to school, you will have a good life." "Will I ever see you again?" Haewon asked. Minjun did not want to lie to her. "Probably not. The settlement world is very far away, but I will remember you, and I hope you will remember me." "I will never forget you," Haewon said. She hugged him tightly with all 4 arms. Minjun held her and felt tears in his own eyes. "Be brave," he whispered. "Be strong, you survived something terrible, you can survive anything." The next morning, the children left. They boarded a transport ship that would take them to their new homes. Minjun stood in the docking bay and watched them go. Each child had hugged him goodbye, even Sung, the older boy who had been so suspicious at first. When the ship left, Minjun returned to his quarters. He did not have any patients scheduled for the rest of the day. He sat in his room and let himself grieve. A message came through on his communicator. It was from Director. "Dr. Park, please come to my office." Minjun washed his face and went to her office. When he entered, he saw that she was not alone. 3 members of the station medical board sat with her. Their expressions were serious. "Dr. Park, please sit," said. Her skin showed neutral gray. Minjun sat down, his heart pounded. This was it, the board had decided his fate. The lead board member, a named Rex, spoke first. "Dr. Park, we have completed our review of the complaints against you. We have interviewed patients, observed your work, and consulted with other medical professionals on this station." Minjun waited. "The complaints against you are valid," Rex said. "You did touch patients without strict medical necessity. You did deviate from standard galactic medical protocols. You did prioritize emotional care over efficiency." Minjun's stomach sank. "However," Rex continued, "we have also observed the results of your methods. Patient satisfaction has increased. Recovery times have decreased. Multiple doctors and nurses have requested training in your techniques. The refugee children under your care showed remarkable improvement in both physical and mental health." The board member paused. "We have decided to take no disciplinary action against you. Instead, we are officially requesting that you develop a training program in compassionate care for all medical staff on Station 9. Minjun stared at them. "What?" "Your methods work," Rex said. "They work very well. The medical board believes that galactic medicine would benefit from incorporating these techniques. With proper training and guidelines, physical contact and emotional care can be valuable medical tools." Another board member, a woman named, spoke. "We want you to teach what you know, not as a replacement for current methods, but as an addition to them. Science and compassion together." Minjun felt relief and surprise wash over him. "I would be honored." "This is unprecedented," Rex said. "The medical board does not normally adopt practices from a single 6 months after the medical board's decision. Station 9 looked much the same as it always had. Ships came and went. Traders sold their goods. Security officers kept the peace. But in the medical bays, something fundamental had changed." Minjun stood at the front of a lecture hall, looking at 50 medical professionals from across the galaxy. Doctors, nurses, and medical technicians had come to learn his methods. This was the 3rd training session he had run. The first 2 had been so successful that the medical board expanded the program. "Compassionate care is not complicated," Minjun said to the assembled group. "It requires 3 things. First, you must see your patient as a complete being, not just a collection of symptoms. Second, you must communicate that you care about them. Third, you must be willing to connect with them emotionally, even though it makes you vulnerable." A doctor raised his hand. "But we were taught that emotional distance is important, that doctors who care too much make poor decisions." "There is truth in that," Minjun said. "You cannot let emotion override good medical judgment. But there is a difference between professional distance and cold indifference. You can care about your patients while still making rational decisions." He touched a control and a video appeared on the screen. It showed him treating one of the refugee children. The child had been frightened and crying. The video showed Minjun kneeling down, speaking calmly and gently touching the child's shoulder. Within minutes, the child had calmed down enough for treatment. "Watch the child's vital signs," Minjun said. He highlighted them on the screen. "When I make contact and speak calmly, the heart rate decreases, stress hormones drop, the patient becomes physiologically calmer. This is not just emotional comfort. This creates better medical conditions for treatment." The doctors watched carefully. Several took notes. "Now I want you to practice," Minjun said. "Pair up. One of you will be the patient, one the doctor. The patient will pretend to be frightened. The doctor will practice the techniques we have discussed." The room filled with activity as the medical professionals practiced. Minjun walked among them, offering guidance and corrections. A nurse named struggled with the physical contact part. Her species found touch uncomfortable. Minjun worked with her. "You do not have to touch the way I do," he told her. "Find what works for your species and your patients. For some beings, eye contact is more important than physical touch. For others, tone of voice matters most. The goal is connection, not a specific technique." Practiced with a doctor. After several attempts, she found a way to convey care through posture and voice that felt natural to her. Her practice patient visibly relaxed. "I see it," said, her skin showing excited orange. "I see the difference it makes." After the training session ended, Minjun returned to his office. Wu was waiting for him with a message pad. "The settlement world sent a report on the refugee children," she said. "They are all doing well. Haewon has been adopted by a family. She starts school next month." Minjun felt warmth in his chest. "That is good news." "There is more," Wu said. "The settlement world's medical director sent a request. They want you to train their staff in compassionate care methods. They believe it will help with the traumatized children." "I will add it to the schedule," Minjun said. The requests for training kept coming. Stations, ships, hospitals, and clinics across the galaxy wanted to learn these methods. Wu hesitated. "Dr. Park, I have a question." "What is it?" "Why do you think humans developed these methods when other species did not?" Wu asked. "We all have medical knowledge. We all want to heal our patients, but humans seem to understand something about the connection between healer and patient that we missed." Minjun thought about his answer. "I think it comes from our planet. Earth is what the galaxy calls it is dangerous. Humans evolved to survive in an environment that constantly tried to kill us. Predators, diseases, natural disasters, harsh climates. We should have gone extinct 1,000 times." "But you did not," Wu said. "No, because we learned to care for each other. A human alone on Earth would die quickly. But humans together, humans who help each other, who comfort each other, who sacrifice for each other, we can survive anything." Minjun paused. "That caring, that connection, it became part of who we are. When we developed medicine, we brought that same approach. Healing is not just about science. It is about one person helping another through the dark times." Wu's fur rippled in thoughtful patterns. "Your planet made you dangerous, but it also made you kind." "The two are connected," Minjun said. "We know how cruel the universe can be. We know what suffering feels like. So when we see someone else suffering, we feel compelled to help. Not because we expect a reward, but because we remember what it was like to need help." Director entered the office. Her skin showed steady blue. "Dr. Park, I have news. The Galactic Medical Council has formally adopted compassionate care as a recommended practice across all member worlds." Minjun stood up. "Really?" "Really," said. "Your methods are being taught in medical schools throughout the galaxy. You are being credited as the founder of a new approach to medicine." She paused. "How does it feel to change the entire galaxy's understanding of healthcare?" Minjun thought about that. "Strange. I was just doing what my teachers taught me, what human doctors have been doing for centuries." "That is what makes it remarkable," said. "Something humans considered basic and obvious, the rest of the galaxy never developed. Your species looked at healing and saw something we all missed." A thought occurred to Minjun, director. "I have been thinking about expanding the program. Not just training current medical professionals, but creating a new specialty. Trauma care for children. With everything happening in the Outer Rim, more refugee children will need help." "That is an excellent idea," said. "Prepare a proposal and I will present it to the council." Over the next year, the trauma care program became reality. Station 9 established the first facility in the galaxy dedicated specifically to helping children who had experienced war and displacement. Minjun trained specialists from dozens of species. The program became a model across the galaxy. But Minjun still spent time treating individual patients. He still knelt down to speak with frightened children. He still held the hands of scared adults. He still believed that the most important medical tool was simple human connection. One day, 2 years after the refugee children had left, Minjun received a message. It was a video from Haewon. She was bigger now, healthier, smiling. "Hello, Dr. Park," she said in the video. Her standard galactic speech had improved. "I wanted to tell you that I am doing well. I have a family now. They are very kind. I go to school and I have friends. I still have the blanket you let me keep. I sleep with it every night." She paused. "I wanted to tell you something else. When I grow up, I want to be a doctor like you. I want to help children who are scared. I want to make them feel safe the way you made me feel safe." Haewon smiled. "Thank you for saving me, not just my body, but my heart. I will never forget you." The video ended. Minjun sat in his office, tears running down his face. Wu had been standing in the doorway, watching. "Are you all right?" she asked. "I am perfect," Minjun said. He wiped his eyes. "This is why we do this work." "Because a child wants to be a doctor?" Wu asked. "Because a child who had every reason to lose hope found it again," Minjun said. "Because she believes the universe can be a good place. Because she wants to help others the way she was helped. That is the greatest success a teacher can have." News of the compassionate care revolution spread beyond medical circles. Other human doctors serving in the galaxy reported that their colleagues were asking them about human approaches to care. Human medical techniques, once dismissed as emotional and unscientific, were now studied and respected. The Galactic Council sent an official delegation to Earth. They wanted to observe human medical training directly. They toured hospitals and medical schools. They watched human doctors work. They were amazed by what they saw. "Your entire medical system is built on this principle," the delegation leader reported back. "Not just a few doctors, but all of them. Every human healer we observed practiced compassionate care as naturally as breathing." Earth's medical schools began accepting alien students. These students learned not just the technical skills, but the philosophy behind human medicine. They returned to their home worlds and spread the knowledge further. 5 years after Minjun first touched a patient's shoulder and faced complaints for it, the galaxy's approach to medicine had fundamentally changed. Medical textbooks included chapters on emotional care. Hospitals rated doctors on compassion as well as technical skill. The standard of care had risen across all species. Minjun, now recognized as one of the most influential medical figures in galactic history, still worked on Station 9. He turned down offers to lead prestigious hospitals or teach at famous universities. He preferred to stay where he was, treating patients one at a time. "Why do you stay?" asked him one day. "You could have any position in the galaxy." "Because this is where I am needed," Minjun said. "Station 9 is a crossroads. People from everywhere come through here. Some are sick, some are hurt, some are scared. They need a doctor who sees them as people, not just cases." "Very human," said. "Yes," Minjun agreed. "Very human indeed." That evening, a new refugee ship docked at the station. Among the refugees were more children who had lost their families. They were scared and hurt and did not trust anyone. Minjun went to meet them. He knelt down to their level and spoke in a calm, gentle voice. "Hello, my name is Minjun. I am a doctor. You are safe now." A small child looked at him with wide, frightened eyes. "Are you hurt?" Minjun asked. The child nodded. Minjun held out his hand. "Come with me, I will help you." The child hesitated, then reached out and took his hand. As Minjun led the child toward Medical Bay 4, he thought about how far things had come. The galaxy had learned that healing required more than just fixing bodies. It required caring for souls. And it had learned this lesson from humans, from a species that had survived by learning to care for each other, from a people who understood that the greatest strength was not weapons or technology, but the simple act of one being helping another through dark times. The child walked beside him, holding his hand tightly. Minjun felt the trust beginning to form. This child had been through terrible things, but with care, patience, and compassion they would heal, both body and spirit. That was the human way. That was the gift humans had given to the galaxy, not advanced weapons or faster ships or bigger stations. Just the simple understanding that when someone is scared and hurting, sometimes all they need is another person who cares enough to hold their hand and say, "You are safe now. I am here. You are not alone." It was such a simple thing, but simple things, Minjun had learned, were often the most powerful. The galaxy was better for having learned this lesson, and Minjun would spend the rest of his life making sure that lesson was never forgotten. But your species clearly understands something about healing that we have missed. We would be foolish to ignore that. Skin shifted to bright yellow. Congratulations, Dr. Park. You are about to change galactic medicine. Medicine is both science and art, Minjun said. The science treats the body, the art treats the spirit. Very human, said, but perhaps not wrong. Was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "You may continue to care for the children in Medical Bay 4, but I want daily reports on their condition. And Dr. Park, if the medical board decides to suspend you, I will not be able to stop them." "I understand," Minjun said. Walked away, her skin shifting back to purple. Minjun returned to Medical Bay 4. The children watched him enter. The small girl he had helped first was lying in her bed, clutching her torn blanket. About medicine and care. The galaxy had rules about how to treat patients, but Minjun had taken an oath to do no harm and to help those who suffered. Sometimes those two things did not align with galactic standards. The docking bay doors were already open when they arrived.